All right. Live we are. Hello. How's everybody doing? Let's see. 9:14. That's like fashionably late. Come on now. Where is everybody? Let's throw us and see. I don't want to get started until Mardi Gras King was here. Just the fact stopped in before. So let's see if a couple people come back now that my banner will be reading live. And when they do, I will get going. So I hope everybody's having an amazing Christmas Eve. And we're about to get a storm up here in New York. So anyhow, wow, what about my last live? What about it? The next morning, what did my president say? What did my president say after I told him? I remember what you said, Mr. Trump. I remember you told me in 2016, I will never sign a spending omnibus bill like this again. Has nothing to do with COVID relief. Has nothing to do with who needs a check and who doesn't. Because best fucking believe I need the check. And that's no joke. But guess what? I also would prefer it if they gave my wife a 12-month tax reprieve, income tax, all that, federal tax, state tax, all that. Goodbye. Hi, guys. How is everybody? Wow. All right. So, yeah, I feel like he did a good thing and he played the game right. And if you didn't know, if anybody comes in this chat talking about how Pelosi and the Democrats are all for it, no, Pelosi put a poison pill in there, so making it so the only way it would pass would be with a unanimous vote in House and Senate. How the hell is that? Come on, she knows that's not going to happen, so she put that in the whole. Well, we want $2,000 too, so Pelosi's out. There's no. What Trump needs to do is pocket. Veto, pocket, meaning put it away. Don't actually use the word veto because then it sends it back to Congress and they have to do their thing. They get an opportunity to do their thing. So what he needs to do is go cluck, right in my pocket. Fuck you. I think you guys are chumps, including the Republicans, including McConnell, who obviously had no idea Trump was coming out with that shit. That's what you get for stabbing Trump in the back. He just shit on every fucking one of you. GOP, Democrats, and all elites, deep state, whoever you want to talk, he just shit on them all and said, I stand with the people. If you haven't figured it out yet, if I haven't shown you in enough fucking ways in 4 years that I'm not here to profit because I've lost billions of dollars, my family's lost billions of dollars, we millions and millions in law, legal fees, investigations, and bogus investigations into his family. And then you have after all of that, we're gonna get to the election at some point tonight. I've got some good stuff. But after all of that, you want to say crumbs. $1,200 was crumbs, which believe me, that 9 months later, it is crumbs. As the person who voted for Trump, it is crumbs. But they held the House hostage. There was nothing we could do. What we did was vote. And we took majority. We got how many more seats did we just take in the House? Funny how we took all down ballot, wiped them out, and we're about to make sure the Senate stays ours. But we didn't take the presidency. That happens often, don't you know? How's everybody doing? So listen, I don't do a whole lot. I got to be very careful tonight because I've got quite a few warnings, and I won't be able to get a warning because I'm on StreamYard tonight. I'm not on my phone yet. YouTube hasn't cut me off yet. Let's hope they don't. Oh, wait a minute. There we go. BC and Finest. There's my babies. I forget that that's there. I'm too busy looking at myself. I have no eyebrows. I didn't even care. I was like, I'm not putting them on. I don't care. You want me here at 9:14 or you want me here at 10:30? BC, I got something for you about McConnell and the Chinese tonight. I mean, his wife's only Chinese, and she's from one of the biggest corrupt business families in China. And he's been part of one of the biggest rhinos. He controls the Senate. So anything he wants done when it comes to China gets done. You know that. And then his wife just happened to be transportation secretary for the last 4 years in the Trump administration. God knows we need to go back through and I'm doing I got a whole playlist together on Chinese spy stuff I want to do sometime this next week after the holidays are over with. It's going to blow your mind. These articles have been coming out for months and months and months, little stupid articles on the third page or something that nobody's reading. And they're all about a Chinese spy in the NYPD, a Chinese spy found in FBI. These are people who are working for our government program, a government federalization, federations, government law enforcement. And they are literally Chinese spies. So before this is what I'm going to do. I have a 17-minute mind-blowing video I need to play. However, fair use, which can somebody please drop that in the comments? I don't think anybody here is one of my people that have it. Shit. I'm going to have to pull it up because if I don't, I'm going to get striked for this. And I need to play this video at 17 minutes, but it's going to blow your mind. And I'm going to have to take pauses and commentary because that's what the whole fair use is about. It is for education. I'm showing you this because I don't believe it's getting enough play on the internet. And I believe that people who care about what's going on right now today need to have this information. And if I have to break it up into 2-minute sections for you and make it worthwhile, I'm going to do that. So I hope everybody's going to have a wonderful Christmas. Not now. Wait a minute. Oh, hold on. I just screwed that up. One minute. Stream. There we go. Oh, okay. So now I got to go over here. I'm going to try to break this up as much as possible. Shoot, let me go back really quick.
2020 has been a year like no other. Everything we know, everything we trust, and everything we've come to rely on has changed. So how can we expect the US election to be any different? Mainstream media are telling us the race is over. Biden won. Time to move on. Nothing to see here, folks. But in your gut, you know something's just not right.
Take a pause.
From the strange patterns on election night.
Before we get going, I just want to take a real quick pause, and this is called The Plot to Steal. Donald Trump, our president, he put this up. So that's why I feel like I can play this with fair use because our president of the United States posted this on his YouTube page right here, 2.16 million subscribers, and he put it out there for us. And I feel like if he was going to copyright fair use me, he wouldn't have put it out there I'm sorry, I just don't believe it. So anyway.
To the weeks of suspense, to the reports of fraud that evaporate faster than Biden's memory. It just doesn't add up. Stay with me, and you'll see just what's going on behind the scenes in this election, and why the greatest threat we're facing right now is not an invisible enemy invading our bodies, but one that's invading our country and our minds. Welcome to Man in America. I'm your host, Seth Holhouse. Let me ask you, how do you know what's happening in the world right now? How do you know what's going on in this country, or even your city? I'm going to go out on a limb here and assume you're probably turned to mainstream media, which includes social media. Perhaps you watch Tucker in the evenings, or read New York Times Sunday morning, or check Facebook on your lunch break. So how do you know what's going on in the US election? What did you think on election night when historically red states and battleground states were stalled while blue states were immediately called for Biden? Or when Fox called Arizona with so many votes still out, of course, for Biden?
Yes.
And how about the late night ballot dumps? that were somehow all for Biden. And the batches of pristine mail-in ballots also all for Biden. And then there were the burst water pipes and the power outages and the computer glitches and issues with Sharpie pens and lost USB drives that somehow all favor Biden. And then we have the hordes of dead voters, once again, all for Biden. The dead people really did vote for Biden. I fact-checked it. And what are the odds that all the last-minute changes to our election process and voting laws in the name of COVID also favor Biden? And how about all the counties with more votes than eligible voters, or where they got more mail-in ballots than they even sent out? In Pennsylvania, they sent 1.8 million mail-in ballots and got back 2.5 million. And last but not least, we've got Dominion. The voting.
I want to emphasize what this man just said. In one state alone, one of the 6 shenanigan states, only 1.2 mail-in ballots were sent out to those citizens in Pennsylvania. They received 2.5 million of those same ballots back. Something's not right. Every single ballot needs to be checked for, and there should be some way to tell which one is a counterfeit ballot compared to an actual ballot. And I know that if when this is all said and done, what Trump is going to reveal is that China was part of counterfeiting ballots by the tons.
System with ties to socialist Venezuela that was programmed to manipulate votes for Biden while sending our data to China, Iran, and Russia. And when the system crashed because of the Trump landslide, key battleground states simply decided to stop counting and head on home. When has this ever happened before
Never.
in U.S. history?
Never.
This is just the tip of the iceberg. Every one of these reports should be serious grounds for investigation. Thousands of poll workers, postal workers, election officials, and honest Americans, both Republican and Democrat, have come forward with photos, videos, and firsthand stories affirmed by sworn affidavits documenting massive voter fraud. Social media has been flooded with them, yet mainstream media keeps asking, where's the evidence?
Once everyone is gone, coast is clear, they are going to pull ballots out from underneath a table. Watch this table. Do you see the gentleman in the red? He said he just pulled one out. So what are these ballots doing there, separate from all the other ballots? And why are they only counting them whenever the place is cleared out with no witnesses?
Where's the evidence?
I'm here with Elliot right now at his wedding, and we were taking the trash out, and I wanted to show you guys what we found in the trash can at St. Anne's, which is a polling place.
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump. Donald Trump. Donald Trump. 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 And there
is
more ballots in these trash
inside that trash. But we will say we did find one Biden.
Where's the evidence?
Can you calculate how much of a vote that accounted for Biden and how much for Trump?
Close to 600,000. I think our figures are about 570 some odd thousand that all those spikes represented over time.
For Biden.
Correct.
And how much for Trump?
I think it was a little over 3,200.
Now, hold on. Didn't they just drag us through a baseless 4-year witch hunt into Russian election interference over far less evidence?
Amen.
And isn't it their job to be digging for evidence?
They don't want to.
Wouldn't Nixon have gotten away with Watergate if the media didn't dig for evidence? Not only aren't they digging for it right now, but they're burying it in a giant game of whack-a-mole, along with their comrades over at Twitter, Facebook, and Google. Of course, they have their fact-checkers debunk everything first. These arbiters of truth who have more conflicts of interest than flavors of ice cream in Nancy Pelosi's freezer. Even President Trump's tweets are so-called fact-checked and censored, and his press conferences are interrupted and cut off.
Okay. Hold on. I know I didn't mean to just cut him off right as they were cutting him off, but I gotta interrupt for just a second. Everybody make sure you share this video because, obviously it's getting shadow banned. Obviously it's not getting to play because a lot of people said they haven't seen it yet. So
Here we are again in the unusual position of not only interrupting the President of the United States, but correcting the President of the United States.
You know what's funny about that? That Brian Williams, a known liar, a busted liar, a man who was shamed and dragged through the mud for lying about stories, creating stories, is now fact-checking the president. That is insane. Holy.
Think about what this means.
Wow.
The President of the United States of America is being censored by U.S. companies. This whole thing reeks of corruption. And not just corruption, but treason.
Treason.
It's such a joke that I'd be laughing if it wasn't so serious. But it is serious.
And that's
because let's assume for a moment.
And that, my friends, is why what I think, look it up. If I'm wrong, put the real amount in the chat. Google it. How much money has been spent in construction in Guantanamo Bay in the last 18 months? Gitmo, check it out. How much military money has been spent building fences and new living space in Guantanamo Bay in the last 18 months? Tell me something's not coming.
That just a fraction of the fraud reports are true. If mainstream media and social media didn't let you see or even talk about them, how would you even know?
Blessed.
Think about it.
Blessed
If our
baby.
election was stolen and our government was overthrown and yet they kept it all hidden, how would you know? If mainstream media can completely control public opinion and the flow of information, including from our president, does the truth even matter? What if I told you that every single one of our mainstream media, including Fox, is being used as a tool to manipulate public opinion and steer the outcome of the election? Perhaps a year ago, you might have called me a conspiracy theorist. But considering we've all been living in the twilight zone lately, you're probably starting to realize that anything's possible.
Amen.
Just try to wrap your head around this. How did the media so accurately predict the long delays in counting votes and the red mirage before the blue wave?
Because
And
it
why
was
did they
their
spend
war
months
game. They
downplaying
planned
the risks of
this.
mail-in ballots while sowing the seeds that Trump would claim voter fraud and refuse to concede? Do they have a crystal ball? Why did Hillary Clinton tell Biden not to concede under any circumstances all the way back in the summer?
You know, Joe Biden should not concede under any circumstances.
Because they just got done doing a war game. The one with the glasses, the goofy bitch you just saw, not Clinton, she's Queen goofy bitch. The other goofy bitch, Jennifer, whatever her name is, was part of that war game. And I did an entire live stream about it about 2 weeks ago. And I broke down all 7 outcomes that they came up with and what their plan was to do. And what one was going to be the most successful of all those outcomes. And so this is the one that they steered towards. But this plan that they had, this war game, came out 2 separate ways. This outcome still comes out 2 separate ways. So this can be changed at some point, and they know that. That's why they need the media to continue to harp on. There's no, I can't even say it. There's no shenanigans in the election. There's nothing going on here. There's no man behind the curtain. Look the other way. This is not the election shenanigans you are looking for. That's all. And they literally are calling your eyes liars. You have watched the videos of the ballots being dragged out from under the secret ballots being dragged out after media and the inspectors were thrown out for the night from underneath the table and being ran through the machine over and over and over and over again. Same ballots over and over and over again. Ballots that had never been folded and sent in the mail. They were pristine, blank, straight, no crease ballots. How are mail-in ballots? What? We saw that, but they want to tell you your eyes have lied to you. Don't believe your eyes. Believe us. We'll be your eyes. Remember in 2016 when Chris Cuomo on CNN said, "Oh no, don't you go read the WikiLeaks. It's illegal. It's illegal for you to read them. They're hacked emails. If you go read them, you could go to prison. But we can read them for you, and we'll tell you what's in them." That's where I believe, honestly, that's where this shit started during the 2016 election. This whole don't believe your own fucking eyes shit. That's like our last. We're digging in with our claws, guys, because they're literally calling us our eyes liars. If you don't see how serious this is, then I don't know how much more I can say, because pretty soon you're either going to go one way or the other. You're going to fall, you're going to drink the Kool-Aid and say, okay, I don't believe what I see. I believe what they're telling me because I'm too scared to think anything else. Or you're going to be one of the hunted, which are the people who actually see what the fuck is going on, refuse to deny it, and those are the people they're going to be chasing down to send away to re-education camps. Our words.
Why did they spend the last 4 years using every
if they get power, that's what's happening
to undermine Trump's presidency in the most relentless smear campaign the world has ever seen? And why did every single mainstream media rush to coronate Biden and cement him into the public mind? Now do you understand why he told voters
it was all propaganda, just like they pulled the China on us. They treated us like they treat like the Communist Party of China treats their people. They pulled a fucking propaganda move on us for over a year to prepare for this election. And they said, we are going to do to them. And they use Facebook and Google, who, by the way, have been the arbiters of building the censorship system of China, the social credit score system in China, the Facebook censorship that they've created has all come from China. And listen, and what happened to Google do no harm? Remember that? How many people walked out of Google when they took that that contract with China? Because they knew they were going to be censoring things like Tiananmen Square with the tank running over the studio. I mean, fucking, that didn't happen. Oh, and by the way, what's that country? Taiwan? Oh no, that doesn't exist. That doesn't exist. Taiwan? That doesn't exist. What are you talking about? American movies that had Taiwan flags, they're gone. They don't exist. We cave into all that shit. What in the God's name is going on? We are so infiltrated with Chinese spies and Chinese Communist Party ideology. It's going to take 10 years to drag them all out, throw them on trial, and fucking toss them away like we did never mind. It's going to happen. Believe that. It's going to happen. I hope they're ready.
It never mattered that he hid in his basement all summer. It never mattered that only 5 people turned up to his rallies. It never mattered that he couldn't even string a sentence together.
True internet suffered pressure.
It never mattered that the majority of Americans chose President Trump on November 3rd. And it doesn't matter that their fraud is more obvious than the stains on Monica Lewinsky's dress.
Ooh.
Because when you control every single channel of information, nothing else matters.
Precisely.
Right now, big media, big tech, big government, and even celebrities are blanketing us with the narrative.
What we have to do as the people is we all have to come out. We have to use their own technology against them. We have to all come out on our own platforms, on our own Facebook pages, on our own anything that we can come out on and stand and say, we don't believe you. We will not accept your election. We will not accept Biden as president. That's what needs. We want a tax revolt. How about that? There's a lot of things we need to come out and stand up for. But right now, the people need to say, we don't believe you. You can say it on every channel on cable news, and we do not believe you. You can put it on every Facebook feed and YouTube fucking post, but I will go somewhere else and find out the truth. You can put it all over the first 25 pages of Google. I'll go to DuckDuckGo. You can throw it all over your little Twitter fucking space that is owned by libtards. I will go to Parler. And pretty soon, YouTube will be non-existent as well. Over 8 million subscribers have walked away from YouTube since the election. And right now have gone to either BitChute, which, by the way, I'm going to start putting my BitChute channel in the description. I really hope you guys all go over there and subscribe as well. I'm also going to be putting my DLive, my Odyssey, and there's another one. I can't remember. I will tell you before we go. But I got a couple of them. I got all ready to go, and that will be hooked. I'm going to start doing exclusives on BitChute here soon, and my hope is to be 6 months into the year completely fuck Google, fuck YouTube, fuck all that. Be completely done with all these corporate Silicon Valley motherfuckers. You know, Parler and Rumble are both have Dan Bongino as, you know, he's got money in both of those. And Dan's an idol to me, you know, for what Dan's done in his life, served his country, and then has turned around and said, when everybody told us, you're a conservative, you know, you believe in the right of businesses to, you know, make the freedom of choice, we all had to say, all right, you're right, whatever. Okay. And they'd say, well, what you need to do is, if you don't like it, get off that platform and go make another one. Go make one just like, and we all couldn't do it. We couldn't do it because they were too fucking big. But guess what? Bongino and all these other people that actually fucking says, you know what, we're going to do it. We're going to do it because the time's coming where it's going to blow. They all believed in something, and they put their money in and risked their life savings. I'm sure many of them putting their money into Parler and Rumble. And guess what? After the election, those Parler and Rumble have blown the fuck up. And BitChute now is completely solvent, so they're going to be monetizing, you know, working on monetizing people here this whole next year, starting January 1st. There's other options other than YouTube. Hey, AM and friends, nice to see you.
Narrative that Biden won, while censoring all evidence of fraud and concealing the very real truth that our nation is facing its greatest threat since the American Revolution. Because as our founding fathers knew all too well, the moment we no longer have free speech and a free press to keep the government in check, we no longer have a democracy. I'm going to level with you now. Anyone who has escaped communist China, Russia, Cuba, or North Korea can see the writing on the wall. In 1963, the communist goals to overthrow the United States were entered into congressional record.
You hear this?
They stated, capture one or both of the political parties,
pay attention,
infiltrate the press, gain control of key positions.
If you're busy doing something right now, if you're wrapping your kid's present, if you're toasting your damn eggnog, stop for a minute. This was entered into congressional record, okay? These are the goals of the Communist Party. Let me see what year it went into the record. Hang on.
In 1963.
63, okay? 1963, they entered these current communists. This is when we had the last problem with the communists, okay? This was in the 60s when we had to uncover a bunch of communist spies in the country then. What are their first three goals?
They stated, capture one or both of the political parties, infiltrate the press, gain control of key positions in radio, TV, and motion picture.
They've done it. Let's be honest. Let's be completely honest with ourselves. Let's not bullshit anymore and say we have some type of control, because we fucking don't. Capture one or both political parties. How long has it been since you have said there is not two parties, there's just one? There is not, there's us and them. There's two systems of justice. There's, you know, us and them. What happens to us when we commit crimes, and what happens to them when they commit crimes. Then when it comes to the Republicans and Democrats, at the end of the day, if they're working for the corporations, if they're working for anybody other than the people, if they're taking any type of money for their campaigns, any type of corporate money, any type of foreign money, all that, it's over. They're not for us anymore, and they haven't been. They've been. How do you make $170,000 a year and become 150 millionaires in the first 5 years you're in Congress? That means you're not doing. You know. Anyway, let's go infiltrate the press. You can't find, not even Fox News is conservative. And not even Fox, I don't even care about conservative. I can tell you of one single, almost mainstream news source that I would call right now, today, completely 100% nonpartisan, non-biased. That's Epoch Times. That's it. That's the only one. And I still think they lean a little bit to the right because of their understanding of the danger of the Communist Party.
After this election, it's pretty clear these goals have been achieved. And the more you look into it, the more you see that all roads lead to China, or more specifically, the Chinese Communist Party, the CCP. Guess who owns a massive chunk of Hollywood, including AMC theaters and legendary film studios? You got it, the CCP. Guess who pays millions of dollars to mainstream newspapers, including the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times, to publish their propaganda? The CCP. And guess who's given the Biden family billions of dollars?
Billions,
yes,
with a B.
The CCP. Now do you see why Biden is the media's darling?
Oh boy, here we go.
On the contrary, who's been the biggest thorn in the CCP's side? Who stood up to their abusive trade policies and slapped them with billions of dollars in tariffs? Who dismantled their stranglehold on manufacturing and brought American factories and jobs back home? Who stopped the pillaging of U.S. intellectual property? Who put serious penalties in place for violating religious freedoms? And finally, who had the guts to call a spade and rightfully point a finger at the CCP for concealing a virus that has crippled our entire world? President Trump.
Amen.
Now do you understand why they hate him so much? They've been coming after America, coming after you and I for decades, and their plan was basically complete. That is, until President Trump got in their way. Right now, we're in a battle for our republic. The enemy is already inside the gates. Even those we thought we could trust have turned on us. They're not fighting with guns and bombs, no, but with words, ideas, and narratives. Because what they're fighting for are our minds. In 1956, communist leader Khrushchev said, "We will take America without firing a shot. We do not have to invade the U.S. We will destroy you from within." I hope you can see now that the invisible enemy is communism, and the most deadly virus is the Chinese Communist Party. It sneaks into a country through the vices of corrupt politicians, businessmen, and people of power and influence. It rips through cities and towns, bodies and minds, leaving no stone unturned, no soul untouched, and a trail of death and destruction in its wake. It sows its seeds by convincing us that lies are truth, evil is good, and hatred is love, that division is unity, and that our enemies are each other. Man versus woman, rich versus poor, black versus white, left versus right. It takes root when we feel helpless, afraid, and alone. It erases our history and slanders our forefathers and teaches our children to hate themselves, their families, and their country. It ridicules our beliefs, undermines our values, and attacks our way of life. It even demands that we kneel down in shame. But we will not be ashamed. It can't pull the wool over our eyes anymore, because we know who we are. We fought to escape tyranny. We bled to end slavery. We revere the brave men who died to secure our freedom. We welcome people of all races and religions. We love our neighbors. We help the poor. We cherish our families. We work hard for what we have. We unite in times of hardship. We know
hey guys, do me a favor, hit that like button so my live will be shared, because you know YouTube is definitely suppressing this one.
God. And we can fight to the death to protect those rights. The time ahead is critical. We, the people, need to call upon our president to defend us from enemies, foreign and domestic, and uphold his oath. For the time being, we still have free press and free speech at our fingertips.
Barely.
But if we don't grab hold of them now, we'll lose them forever. Independent, honest media companies like OAN, Newsmax, and the Epoch Times will guide
Amen.
us
See, I
out
told
of the
you.
darkness,
Epoch,
where
didn't I say
mainstream
it?
media will only drag us further down.
It's the only
It's
places I
time
go
to stop
to.
giving them our money, our attention, and our minds.
NDT. I go to
Unlike their
NDT
Facebook
too.
pages, unsubscribe from their emails, unfollow them on Twitter, delete their apps, and stop visiting their websites.
I gotta.
Support the countless patriots who've gone through hell and high water to get this information to you.
Amen. Dan, yay!
Like their content, subscribe to their channels, share their videos, spread their message. Stop using Google search. Google is censoring
Told
every
you.
result and robbing you of your right to know the facts. Start using DuckDuckGo and compare them. You'll be
Told you.
shocked. Get off Twitter and Facebook and switch to Parler. Join millions of patriots
Amen.
who have already turned their backs on these
I'm
toxic
on Parler,
companies
guys.
who dare silence our voices. Join the millions of patriots who are standing up and
I'm on Parler, I'm on Minds, I'm on BitChute, I'm on DLive, I'm on, you name it, guy. Odyssey. I can't think of it. I think that, no, there's more. I'll think of them. Hold on.
rallying across the country, demanding justice and rejecting communism. Our enemies snuck in during the night and tried to use the media to lull us to sleep while they stole our country. But instead, they awoke the sleeping giant.
Amen. Listen, guys, I'm not going to lie to you. I desperately want to go to Washington on the 6th. I don't know how it's going to happen. There's no financial way I'm going to make it happen. And I'm not going to have, my wife's not going to drive me down there during that nonsense. But boy, if there's a busload coming from New York down to Washington, somebody hit me up in the emails because I desperately want to be there for that. It's going to be a once in a lifetime thing. We're never going to have that opportunity again. January 6th is our day, and we need to all be there. And come hell or high water, I hope I can make it. I don't ever plan anything. I'm a woman who doesn't plan. I guess it just kind of happens. So we'll see.
We see them for who they are now.
I ended up in Philadelphia for Bernie.
And they'll never
It's only
be
a
able
fucking
to fool
8-hour
us again.
drive.
They tried to trigger a great reset, but instead, they triggered a great awakening.
Amen.
We will not look back 5 years from now and tell our children that we did nothing as our nation was stolen. We will tell them that we fought for and won our freedom just like our forefathers in 1776. America is the last bastion of freedom in the world. We are the only remaining threat to the CCP virus. If we
Amen.
fall, the world will fall.
Sure will.
But we will not fall. It's time to stand with our founding fathers and to invoke the power of we the people and the power of God. We are the patriots.
Oh, they got me. Okay, that was just the end. I thought they got me. All right, guys, that's on President Trump's channel. Share that video. Excuse me, like that video, do what you can, because that definitely needs to get out there. Everybody that is even suspicious about what happened in this election and what's been going on the last 4 years, anybody that's even willing to talk about it needs to see it. All right, let's see here. What's going on? Stop. There we go. Stuff's a little slow. How's everybody doing? That was a little long. I'm sorry, but I hope everybody enjoyed it as much as I did. Boy, I'm kind of slow. See if it closes. Hold on. Okay. We're going to start here. Now that I played that video, I want to. Oh, come on. Let me share my screen. Things are going real slow. I might. All right. I should be back, guys. I didn't go nowhere. I just wanted to reload it. So maybe that would. Yeah, it's running better now. Way better. Okay. Let's share this here. I'm going to go right to work now because I got stuff for you. Okay, remember this guy, guys? This is that Patrick Burns. Says this is the guy that used to be the CEO of Overstock.com. Remember him? I think he got in trouble. He quit. Something happened. That has nothing to do with this. All right. Former Overstock.com CEO says he took part in this chaotic White House meeting this last Friday. Patrick Burns says he met with President Donald Trump and his legal team to discuss overturning this election loss, right? The long, strange intersection between former Overstock. Holy cow, hang on 1 minute. My window is open too much. There we go. It just got like really cold. Okay, so anyway. All right. CEO Patrick Byrne and President Trump's political universe took another turn over the weekend. According to the Times, Friday night, meeting at the White House was convened to discuss Trump's strategy to reverse his election loss, Democrat Joe Biden. In the meeting, according to the Times, the idea of seizing voting machines in several states was raised by Sidney Powell, Trump's lawyer, and a former national security advisor, Michael Flynn. While not included in the initial report, Byrne was also present. Patrick Byrne, my involvement is, I was in the room when it happened. The raised voices, including my own, I can promise you, President Trump is being terribly served by his advisors. They want him to lose and are lying to him. He is surrounded by mendacious mediocrities. Mendacious mediocrities. This is what he put. And then it goes a little bit further into it. Hold on, because he does name some names, guys. Some people are basically telling Trump he needs to concede. People who are lying to us saying they're not. Multiple reports said the meeting got heated and devolved into a screaming match as White House aides pushed back on Powell and Flynn's suggestion of overturning the election. Byrne attacked several White House staffers for being insufficiently loyal to the president as he faces defeat in leaving office on January 20th, tweeting, "For the first time in my life, I feel sorry for Donald Trump. He is standing up to his waist in snakes. Trust Rudy and Sidney only." Guys, this is huge. When I tell you, even Mark Meadows is one of those snakes. Smooth talking Meadows is one of those snakes. All right, hold on. Just last month, Byrne claimed he was funding an army of hacker and cyber sleuths who would prove the election results were rigged by Democrats to help Biden win. There's no credible evidence that the vote totals have been changed or manipulated. I'm just reading. On Sunday, Utah Senator Mitt Romney called Trump's refusal to acknowledge his defeats and efforts to overturn the election results sad and embarrassing. This is where they're going to, guys. Listen. Anybody who can read Trump and actually can figure him out A to Z and has read his book, which is basically the way he lives his life, they have figured out it's not. Trump doesn't care all of the things that he has said about him in the news. None of that. What gets to him is attacking his manhood. And Remember his hands? Remember his hands, guys, in 2015, in the middle of the huge Republican primary. It was 17 Republicans up there, and Donald Trump has to beat them all, and he literally starts an entire war, a beef between Marco Rubio himself and Bush, maybe I think it was, all over the size of his hands in reference to the size of his manhood. I love Donald Trump, but he doesn't like to have his manhood attacked, and they figured that thing out. And so now they're not attacking his strategies. They're not attacking his words. They're not calling him a liar because they don't care. They know you don't care about that. They know he doesn't care about that. They're attacking his man. You're pathetic. You're sad and embarrassing. It's a fucking mind fuck. Anyhow, since his election loss, as they call it, since his loss, Trump's yet. It's hard for me to read this. Since his alleged loss, Trump has made repeated specious claims about voter fraud costing him the election, none of those being proven. The latest target for Trump and his allies are, yes, there's been many proven. Don't make me bust out the list of proven fraud. The latest target for Trump and his allies are Dominion and Smartmatic. It goes on, okay, but I want you to hear what Aaron Rupar says. Here's Michael Flynn on Newsmax stating that Trump could order military capabilities to swing states and rerun election. I think this is a good, I hate to say this, but at this point.
He could order within the swing states, if he wanted to, he could take military capabilities and he could place them in those states and basically rerun an election in each of those states. I mean, it's not unprecedented. I mean, these people out there talking about martial law, it's like it's something that we've never done. Martial law has been instituted 64 times.
In 200 years.
So I'm not calling for that. We have a constitutional process. We clearly have a constitutional process. I think you highlighted some of that in your previous segment. That has to be followed. Also he could order within the swing states, if he wanted to, he could take military capabilities and he could place them in those states and basically rerun an election in each of those states. I mean, it's not unprecedented. I mean, these people out there talking about martial law, it's like it's something that we've never done. Martial law has been instituted 64 times, Greg. So I'm not calling for that. We have a constitutional process. We clearly have a constitutional process. I think you highlighted some of that in your previous segment. That has to be followed. Also he could order within the swing states, if he wanted to, he could take military capabilities and he could place them in those states and basically rerun an election in each of those states. I mean, It's not unprecedented. I mean, these people out there talking about martial law, it's like it's something that we've never done.
Okay, so it's going to repeat it over and over again. Patrick Byrne says, he disputed the claim that military intervention was discussed, calling that 100% fabrication. Says, in addition, any suggestion that there was talk of military coup or martial law is a flat lie, 100% false. I don't want to go to it. I was there, it says. And then it goes, to prove himself that he was in the White House on Friday, Byrne posted several pictures of himself in and outside. Boom. Boom. Because he knew people were going to call him a liar. So anyway, I already talked to you about Barr saying there was no basis to seize voting machines. Barr, whose father hired Jeffrey Epstein to be a math teacher at Dalton University. Jeffrey Epstein, the prolific human sex trafficker. Let's not remember. Listen, Barr has no legitimacy to me once I found that out. Barr is as deep, especially since Epstein died on his watch. His own father is responsible for putting him into a position to where he started to find those girls. The first few girls he victimized came from Dalton. And he, I believe he was fired over something. But anyway, if it wasn't for Donald Barr hiring him and putting him in that position without the credentials to do so, 25 years later, he wouldn't have been in the position he was in the first place. And somehow Bill Barr thought he could step in and be the DA while this whole thing was starting to unfold again. DA, the United States Attorney, not the DA, but the United States Attorney General. And he would oversee it and keep his mouth shut all at the same, keep the Barr's name out of it completely. But guess what? Everybody knows what Bill Barr's connection is now, and that he has a familial connection with Jeffrey Epstein, who suicided, let's not us forget, who committed suicide, 6 foot tall on a 4 foot bunk bed, literally knees on the floor. Let us not forget that, okay? He said he pursued, this says this is not the first time Byrne's orbit has intersected with Trump. Earlier this year, Byrne was involved. Now listen, guys, remember this girl? Maria Butina. She was the redheaded spy, quote unquote, who was convicted of being a Russian agent. She was the one that was always at the NRA meetings talking to all the Republicans at the NRA meetings. But come to find out, all she did was she didn't register as an agent of Russia when she was doing her business. And just like everybody else, they gave her a bullshit charge. He was in a relationship with her. So he had to resign from Overstock.com over that whole thing. He says he pursued a relationship at the behest of a businessman, Warren Buffett, and Men in Black. Meaning the FBI and Warren Buffett asked him to pursue this relationship with her to get information to find out what her purpose was here. Was she really a spy? Was she really working on behalf of Russia? What information was she giving Russia? So on and so forth. Damn, that light is bright. Really quickly. Somebody asked me about this. I'm going to throw, I actually usually have it ready, but it's really 2 seconds here. Come on. Boom. Somebody asked me about this the other day because I'm not using PayPal, guys. PayPal, I have more, they're seeing that there's fraud. All the money that I've ever got on PayPal, I've never received. Just so you know, please don't use PayPal. I haven't took it out of my description yet. But if you're going to use anything, look, you can take your little QR scanner and scan my Cash App thing right here, or the Cash App's in the description. Thank you so much for any donations. Have a Merry Christmas. Everybody just keeps dropping emails for me to put this in my videos. Thank you. I appreciate it, guys. Boom. Let's get out of here. Next. Shake your booty. Yeah, PayPal is it's a ripoff. I'm sorry, but I have never got my money from the YouTube PayPal stuff. Cash App, I get it like instantly. Okay, guys. Next. Okay. This is what I was talking about, the pocket veto thing real quick. Chad Pergram reports Trump could use pocket veto. I really don't want to go back into this because I kind of think I did really good on it. I don't think I need to cover any more of it, but if you want, I can just show you that. No, I don't want to, because Fox will hit me on a copyright thing. So let's keep going. I told you about the Democrats agreeing. But the thing is Nancy Pelosi, I'll show you, she put a poison pill in it. So she's not really agreeing to shit. She's only doing it so that she can put this poison pill in there saying it's got to be a universal, you know what I mean? And her and Mitch McConnell are together on that, just so you know. Remember that, people who live in Mitch McConnell's state, it's time to get the turtle out. Find out, listen, we all know that the only reason Mitch keeps getting re-voted, come on, guys, we all know, as I said, his wife is from China, a very prominent business family in China. We will talk about it when I talk about, I'm going to do probably January 3rd or 4th after the holidays. I'm going to do a 2-hour thing. I got like so many cases to go over of spies that have been busted in just this last 4 years from China. Okay, let's talk about this. This is very important, so important. I'm glad everybody's. Remember about a week ago, guys, we might have heard something about how the Pentagon had stopped allowing the Biden team to participate in the daily presidential briefing. However, the defense, the acting secretary, Chris Miller, came out and said it was just simply because of the holidays. And they already agreed with it. Hi, Nellie, now. Mwah. So anyway, they said, oh, it's just because of the holidays and we want to give it a break. Well, after the holidays, we'll reconvene and we'll do all these interviews. That's what they said. So what the heck's going on? Why ain't that working? Uh-oh. Maybe I got uploads. Okay, I got it. There we go. Sorry. Anyhow, Chris Miller is that act. He made that decision. Now the Biden team came out and said, "Oh no, we did not agree on that. We never. What are you talking about?" And so everybody kind of went, "Huh? Why would Chris Miller come out and say that they agreed on it if it wasn't agreed upon?" It makes sense. Holiday break, you still got 30, 20 days after that to do your brief. I mean, come on now. Up until Friday, Kamala Harris was getting that briefing anyway because she was still on the Senate Intelligence Committee. And she was leaking all that information back that Biden wasn't getting in the briefing anyway. So remember that. And now listen to this article that came out yesterday. Acting Secretary of Department of Defense Chris Miller thanks Vice President Pence for efforts in the most complex military operation in history, ? What's Chris Miller talking about, guys? What is the most complex military operation in history that Vice President Pence was obviously overseeing, because it says his efforts in, and Chris Miller must have been a part. He's only been acting secretary for how long? So this had to be recent. So are we talking about the seizing of the servers in Germany? Is that what we're talking about? I'm not sure. I haven't even read this whole thing, so I don't know. It says here. Let's listen to what it says, and I'll that way we'll go from there because I don't want to just speak on it until I hear him say it.
Vice President, I'm going off script again. I know, but I just want to personally thank you. We've been through some stuff. We've gone through some of the most complex military operations this country's ever conducted, and your steady hand and your leadership during those was a great source of strength for me. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your character. Thank you for yourself.
This is on December 19th. So 4 days ago. What's been going on, guys? What's going on behind the scenes? What is the vice president handling while the president is dealing with everything else? What is going on behind the scenes? What is our Department of Defense and our Secretary of Department of Defense and our Vice President in the military doing that is so important? I don't know. Is Miller referring to the recent work by the military to obtain a vaccine for the China coronavirus? That's really not, all they're going to be says, is that the most complex military operation? I don't think so. We've organized the military many times in our history to help with vaccine. Polio, I believe it was done again, maybe with the flu at one point when it first came out. Anyway, I just wanted you to know that. Keep your eyes and ears open, guys. Something big is going down, okay? Something big is going down with our DOD and the VP. And I think we're probably going to hear about it pretty soon. All right, guys. President Trump signed an order to give John Durham, who we all thought was MI-fucking-A. Where the fuck has John Durham been? Pardon the F word on Christmas Eve. Baby Jesus and all. Yeah, I need to go get another drink. I got cotton mouth like a mofo. Let me just take a minute. I don't get to say this anywhere else, and I sure don't get to. That was weird how that just happened, and I don't get to say this to them. And I guess maybe I just am putting it in this video or this live because I want to put it out there somewhere. Merry Christmas, Alyssa and Kyle, Emily and Joe. I love you. And I'm right here waiting whenever you want to talk. I hope your Christmas is everything that you deserve and more. Love, Mom. All right, back to the business, okay? I like to make sure I put it somewhere. And I'm refusing to use Facebook right now, therefore, here it got put. Okay, guys, President Trump signed an order giving Durham authority to present classified information to the grand jury that's investigating Crossfire Hurricane. Meaning, up until now, maybe there was a holdup. Maybe he couldn't do his job because he needed to be able to show the grand jury this classified information. And somebody in, I don't know, maybe the Department of Justice was blocking it. Somebody that might have been recently let go. That's my assumption. John Durham, a ray of hope. The White House announced Tuesday President Trump signed an order on the 18th, giving the attorney from Connecticut the authority to present classified information to a grand jury investigating Crossfire Hurricane. No way. Sorry, I had to do that. I shouldn't have done it. Okay. Under previous DOJ rules, the regulations the Attorney General needed, see, I told you it had something to do with the DOJ, consent from specific classifying agency, which allows deep staters in the CIA to stonewall the release of documents. Exactly what I just said to you. Memorandum on the Attorney General's authority to use classified information. Here it is, guys. This is the executive order the president issued, and it just says that subject is about the use of classified information to present to a grand jury. And it says, I hereby direct the following: the authority of Attorney General, who is currently conducting intelligence activities related to the campaigns in 2016 and presidential election and certain related matters. On May 13, 2019, Attorney General directed John Durham to conduct a review, which developed into a criminal investigation. On October 19, 2020, Attorney General appointed John Durham to conduct the investigation pursuant to the powers and independence afforded by the special counsel regulations of the DOJ. And then it says, is TGP previously reported, Bill Barr appointed him as the special counsel in October. Barr said Durham's probe has narrowed to the conduct of FBI. Durham was initially appointed by Barr in 2019 to investigate the Russia collusion hoax. And so far, he's only produced one guilty plea. Former FBI lawyer Kevin Kleinsmith pled guilty last August to one felony count, making a false statement over altering a government email in the Carter Page investigation. On July of 2016, Peter Strzok opened a counter intel investigation into Trump's camp dubbed Crossfire Hurricane on suspicions based on no evidence that the Russians had infiltrated Trump's circle. For years, DOJ and FBI resisted the release of the electronic communication used to launch this scam. Dan Bongino nailed that. That was Dan. Dan kept saying, where is the EC? Where is the EC? Former FBI, former Secret Service. Used to launch the scam investigation because it revealed the entire Spire operation was a scam. The EC was launched with Crossfire Hurricane was written by Peter Strzok and obtained by Judicial Watch as the result of a FOIA lawsuit. It was declassified and released with redactions. The EC reveals Peter Strzok opened Crossfire Hurricane based on third-hand information that the Russian government had been seeking prominent members of the Donald Trump campaign in which to engage to prepare for potential post-election relations should Trump be elected president. Okay. I need a drink. Sean Davis says, the White House announced today Trump, okay, that's just the thing I just read you, and just Sean Davis releasing it. Good to go. Let me do this really quick. Okay. Moving on, my finest. Look at her little hearts. Oh, finest, I hope you have an amazing Christmas. I really do. Check this out, guys. This is what I mean by big tech is taking away your right to know information. Not just taking my videos down, but look at this. YouTube removes the video of Trump's lawyer's opening statement at the Senate committee hearing. They took it down, y'all. You had no idea it was even there if Gateway Pundit hadn't put it out on there. I mean, and if you don't read Gateway Pundit or you didn't go looking for it, you don't know it exists. This is 1984 in the Ministry of Truth, guys. We need to wake the fuck up. We need to stop letting them pull this shit. Refuse to believe. Hey, that's what we hashtag. I refuse to believe your bullshit narrative. No, Joe Biden's not my president. No, I don't believe the election results. No, I refuse to follow your bullshit narrative. I believe my eyes. So, let's watch it. Right? Hang on. So YouTube has decided my Senate, given under oath and based upon hard evidence, is too dangerous for you to see. They removed it. To this day, our evidence has never been refuted, only ignored. Why is Google so afraid of the truth? Hashtag Big Brother. YouTube is, and okay, it says, why is Google, or lawyer Jesse Binnall wrote on Twitter. Here it is, guys. Oh, it says you can watch it here. They took it down. Check that out, yo. Oh my God. Look at that. I wonder if Gateway knows. Okay, I'm going to do this. Hold on. Go here. Oh, no, up here so I can do the. Oh, my DuckDuckGo's not up. Oh, yep, there it is. Okay. Come on. Sorry, guys, I still don't have my thing. I got to talk into it. Hang on. See that video. You need to go look at it. Watch it on your own, guys. YouTube took it down. They are really trying to hide that opening statement from Trump's lawyer, Jesse. President Trump's lawyer, Jesse Binnall's opening statement at Senate hearing that was censored on YouTube. If it doesn't come up, I'll keep going. There it goes. Sorry, I have to do it that way because my half keyboard doesn't work. Chain smoking, it's the way I be. If I'm gonna die of COVID, I'm gonna die happy. Come on. Oh, there it goes. Hang on. Here we go, guys. Let's see if we can find it. I want to find this video. I'm pissed now. They're not going to keep me from knowing my information. They're not going to stop me from finding out what that opening statement said. And that's what they're trying to do. Oh, finest, my dear. Come on. Come on. Here we go. Senate hearing, not Senate. Ugh. Okay, it's right here. I already went to that one. So let's find one that actually has. No, that's not. President Trump's down. No, I want Jesse Binnall. See how they hide? Like, all right. No, they didn't even put it up there, right? That's why. Hang on. It's not going to work this time. I'm not messing with it no more. Come on, we're going somewhere else. Go check it out, guys, please. Let's go to Trump's pardon this week. He did some good. I'm so happy he pardoned Paul Manafort. Oh, I know that's pissing off so many libtards. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, and definitely fuck you. That's what he said. Okay, here we go. Gab, your tab just crashed. Restore my tab. What's wrong with it? Why did it crash? Here we go. Sorry, guys. Come on. There we go. Trump pardoned, this is AP. So just in case there's any bullshit about my sources, YouTube. AP, Trump pardons 15, commutes 5 sentences, including GOP allies. I keep telling you he needs to pardon everybody. Everybody. His family. He got Kushner's dad in this one, guys. All right, here we go. Excuse me. So, the pardons reflected Trump's apparent willingness to give the benefit of the doubt to American service members and contractors. It goes on. I'm not going to keep. It's about certain military people. So it says the pardons drew criticism from Democrat Adam Schiff, who was a piece of shit. It's not the president's not abusing his power. He can do what he wants. Schiff's pissed because he pardoned Paul Manafort. Schiff, the one that tried to buy a naked video or naked pictures of our president from a Russian radio comedian who played a prank on his dumb ass. I mean, really, Schiff, you should have resigned and crawled in a hole when you got busted doing that. Trump is doling out pardons, not on the whatever. It's not. Yeah, AP is so biased. Anyway, it says he's granted about 2% of requested pardons. 27 before Tuesday's announcement. By comparison, Barack Obama granted 6%. Or 212. George Bush, 7%, or 189. George Bush Sr. granted 10% of the requests. Among those pardoned by Trump was Phil Lyman, a Utah representative who led the ATV protest through restricted federal lands. Amen. Amen. Good for you. Anyway, others on the list are the Pittsburgh dentist, 2 U.S. Border Patrol agents, Lyman, that's another guy, Alfred Lee Crum, with 2 women convicted of drug crimes. Alfred Lee Crum, now 89. When he was 19, he went to prison in 1952 he was charged with helping his wife's uncle illegally distill moonshine. Crum served, he pardoned him. Served 3 years of probation and paid a $250 fine. The White House said Crum has maintained a clean record and a strong marriage for 70 years. Attended the same church for 60 years, raised 4 children, and participated in charity events. So they part good. Are you kidding me? Those aren't earned pardons? Okay. Lyman was serving as a Utah County Commissioner when he led 50 ATV riders into canyon homes and Native American cliff dwellings that officials closed to motorized traffic. The riot occurred amid a sputtering movement in the West, pushing back against federal control of large swaths of land. Like Cliven Bundy had with remember that? He pardoned the Bundys too, didn't he? Or he got him out, one or the other. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Got a little bit more here. Hunter Biden, again, back in the news. Oh, I love saying that man's name. Let me tell you something. If we don't stop this steal, you're going to hear, I'm going to have a separate channel called KAT30420 versus Hunter Biden. And I hope everybody goes and subscribes to it because I am literally going to spend 365 days a year for 4 years attacking in one way or another factual information in my investigations with Hunter Biden and his disgusting criminal behavior. So, more information from the horse's mouth. The actual guy who had the laptop, the Apple repairman, John Paul Mac-Isaac, tells the full story of his interaction with the FBI and their negligence. Believe me, this is worth 7 minutes of your time. Check it out. I'll have to pause in the middle, guys. Let me go back and do this
My
real
name
quick.
is John Paul Mac-Isaac, and this is the story of what happened after I gave the laptop to the FBI.
All right.
It sounds like you just sought out help from several people, and so there was an intermediary.
The stakes are incredibly high, and hedging on this question, it could impact the safety of a lot more people than just the people you care about.
It wasn't long after my December 9th interaction with the FBI that events transpired that would cause my previous concerns for my safety to return. Agent Mike
George
instructed me
Papadopoulos,
moving forward to
also
only communicate through text message, no
London
email.
lawyer.
He also
Pardoned.
said that if somebody came into the shop looking for the laptop, that I was to contact him immediately.
Hey guys, I just saw this while watching this. I'm not going to talk about it tonight, but wow, they're not going to charge the Black Lives Matter activists who ran over the Proud Boy who's in the hospital now, paralyzed.
And stall them for 24 hours, and agents would return the equipment. When leaving the shop that day, Agent Mike turned to me and said, in our experience, nothing ever happens to those that don't talk about these things. And at that time, I was just so happy that the laptop was leaving my shop, I didn't hardly notice the odd instructions or the thinly veiled threat.
Yeah.
Shortly after agents collected the laptop, I received a call from Agent Mike requesting assistance in accessing the drive. I assisted them by providing phone support until they were able to access the drive and its data. I thought that it was odd that they required my help, and I was starting to get uncomfortable, but I figured I had no choice but to cooperate with the FBI. About 2 weeks later, I got a call at the shop from Agent Mike seeing if anybody had been in about the laptop. I said no, and that was the last I heard from the FBI. By that time, I was started to reflect on my interactions, and I was getting the feeling that the FBI's agenda no longer included my safety. Why was this laptop not in a lab being professionally inspected? Why was it not admitted as evidence during an impeachment? I was getting the feeling that the FBI was holding on to it until the owner returned for it, and that they cared more about protecting it than they were in protecting me. And ultimately, when it came to my safety, I was worse off than I was before. Towards the end of the summer of 2019, before my father reached out to the FBI, I did probably the smartest thing I've ever done in my entire life, and that was make a copy of the drive. I knew I had to get my story told, and I knew I had to find a voice to tell it. At this time, I was trying to have a business, and I was trying to have a life. I knew that I needed to study the material on the drive, and seeing how there's no expectation of privacy when it comes to things you abandon. I chose a couple emails and files that I thought were topical and that would raise concern.
Absolutely. Read them things.
Once again,
Oh, wow.
I enlisted my father and later my uncle and armed them with the tools needed to go out and share my story.
I'm Colonel Steve Mac-Isaac, United States Air Force retired. I was basically out of the story until a few days after
That's his dad,
the
you
FBI had
guys.
taken legal custody of the
These are
laptop.
true Americans.
He did call me.
True American patriots. I got to stop this for a second, guys. These are true American patriots. This is called Deaf Ears. It's on a YouTube channel. It's on. Listen, it's under his real name, guys. You can go subscribe to his channel right now. John Paul Mac-Isaac. Watch. I'm going to subscribe to it. There you go. he's got 650 subscribers. He put out his own story in his own words called Deaf Ears. You've got to go see his channel, and I'm sure he's going to put out more. It's a lot more clean than going to the Gundam channel from GCTV that is releasing all the inappropriate Hunter Biden videos from the laptop.
He said he thought it was strange that the FBI was calling him and asking him for technical support.
Right.
On the Mac laptop. I said, yes, that's very strange because the FBI has one of the best forensic labs in the world. It's outside Washington, D.C. And I had assumed wrongly that the day that they took custody of the laptop on an airplane and down there for proper disposition. So once again, I thought that the FBI had turned their back on us and they were trying to solve it in-house or just find out what was on the computer locally. So then I decided the next best thing to do would be to go to Congress. There were two particular people I admired, one in the Senate and a young lad who was over on the Judicial Committee and the House of Representatives. I attempted to get through to both those offices, got the same thing. If you're not willing to talk to me, you can't talk to one of our lawyers. I said, you understand, I'm not supposed to talk to you. I can only talk to a lawyer. Sorry, have a great day. About this time, I upped the ante with my brother-in-law, Colonel Ron Chico Scott, to say, okay, we've got to do something. We're running out of time.
My name is Colonel Ronald J. Scott, Jr., United States Air Force retired. After 34 years of service.
Do you understand what this story is telling all of us, you guys? That we need to share this video everywhere we can get it out, because this is telling us that not only was the Apple guy that got Hunter Biden's laptop a patriot for doing what he did, and he's risked his life and and his reputation to put the information out there, and he did everything the right way, the legal way, the way that they tell you to do it. If you find evidence, see something, say something, turn it into the FBI. That's what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to give it to the newspapers if somebody hacks you. All that is bullshit, because these patriots did exactly what they were supposed to do. These patriots, these men who gave their lives for our country, got shit on by this worthless FBI. Why the fuck do we even have an FBI? Does anybody know? Because they haven't done a fucking thing in the last 10 years that's worth anything but keep letting off criminals. Oh, I can't stand that. Get rid of the FBI, the CIA, all these goddamn bloated parts of this government we don't need.
Father, Colonel Steve McIsaac,
this is so ridiculous.
Towards the end of 2019 to fill me in on the laptop and hard drive and their efforts to get the drive in proper hands once they discovered its contents. On May 8, 2020, I posted a message on the White House contact page indicating I had access to potential national security and criminal information and requested a referral to the Justice Department. No response. On May 13, 2020, I reached out to investigative journalist in response to an article he published regarding Blue Star Strategies. No response.
No response.
On May 18, 2020, I sent documentation via email and through the postal system. This consisted of a one-page summary of 3 documents on the hard drive and a copy of the redacted FBI subpoena. No response.
No response.
On May 29, 2020, I sent a similar one-page summary and redacted subpoena via facsimile to Senator's office. No response.
No response. Deaf ears is exactly right.
I think it's a combination of a country that's so paranoid to be fed misinformation combined with other major world issues at the time that caused my cries for help to fall on deaf ears. I was running out of time and I was running out of options, and I had one last hope.
Amen. God bless you. You are a patriot, sir, and God bless your father and your family. Thank you. From one patriot to another, John Paul MacIsaac and father, and I think it was his uncle. Thank you. Thank you for all the service you've had, that you've done for our country. Thank you for serving in the military. Thank you for taking a risk and trying to do over and over. You heard all the dates from April or December on, from the time they got the subpoena in December of 2019 all the way through May 2020. They've done nothing but try to get this information out, and no one would let them get it out. No one responded. All they had to do was lawyer to lawyer. That's the normal way it gets done anyway. But these senators, these congressmen, they wanted that dirt for themselves so they could squash it. So they can find a way, work together with their aides to squash whatever was being talked about. Because it was an entire ruse to get Joe Biden in office. So if you didn't see this, guys, Rudy Giuliani dropped a bomb shell on Steve Bannon's show the other day. I was watching it live when it happened. It was pretty fucking awesome. Hold on. Here it is. If you've never seen it, go check out Steve Bannon's War Room, guys. It's pretty fucking cool. Pretty cool. Listen, I don't watch mainstream stuff. I watch.
Now we're going to bring in the hardest working man.
Sebastian Gorka. I watch Steve Bannon. I watch Blaze. I watch Millie. You see them all down there. I watch Valuetainment. I watch a little of everything, guys. A little of everything. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Close that. I'm going to go back up. Okay, I'm going to go back up, please. Hold on. Sorry. So this is for education purposes and entertainment purposes only. Fair use. I'm not going to play the whole thing. It's 2 hours long. But what I am going to do is show you the part of Rudy Giuliani. Hang on. Is this where it is? Broke that little info. It should be timestamped on the YouTube version. Yep, it is. Here we go. I think. Let's see.
In a special session, they should discuss this. The Democrats should their 2 cents in, should debate this, should look at the evidence. And their recommendation is in that special session, there's enough evidence here to, guess what? Decertify. Take your number 2 pencil out and write that down. Decertify. Where have I heard that before? War room pandemic. Now we're going to bring in the hardest working man in America. He's the king of the honey badgers because he does not care. He's grinding, and this is what it's about. Don't believe all the stuff you got. No fairy godmother is going to come in here. Was it Deus ex machina? Is that good? My 12 years of Latin and being an altar boy, I think I'm close enough. I want to bring in another altar boy, Rudy Giuliani, the mayor. Broke the 5 families, broke the mafia on Wall Street, and now is out to fight for the President of the United States, to fight for the Constitution, to fight for the Republic. And remember, everybody, after all the stories, Donald Trump's turned on everybody. Donald Trump's a wild man. The president has never been more focused because he's focused not on himself. He's focused on the Republic, and he's focused on the Constitution. Rudy, Mayor, tell me about this report. This is the first, I think, kind of real official document we've got from the committee. I know tell us about it. What are your thoughts?
Come close. Arizona yesterday similarly was going to pass a resolution demanding a joint session to certify Trump, but then they didn't get the vote, so they're going to come back again tomorrow. Hopefully this will help push them. They kind of push each other. So what this would do is it would force the to vote on the same resolution. The lower house is largely Republican. They've got a very, very good leader, Ralston. Actually, he supported me when I ran for president. And so it would have a chance. It's not one of those things you call like dead on arrival in the lower house. In fact, it's a real possibility that they could pass this. Plus, I happen to know that we have 1 or 2, my fingers crossed, big revelations for Georgia within the next day or 2 with the that we've had some more information about. So maybe a little more additional information about the fraud and the cheating would be enough to push this over the top.
Mayor, what's most powerful about this is that they didn't even get into, which I think is the most compelling evidence down there, the illegal voting, the underage voting, the post office box voting, all that. They really focus on the mail-in ballots and a lot of irregularities there, which is enough evidence for them. Walk us through the conversation you would have with a Governor Kemp, because, you know, I don't want to say you're going to go good cop, bad cop, but you play a pretty good bad cop. Bernie Carrick plays a better bad cop, but you're pretty good yourself. So give me your, what's your bad cop speech to Governor Kemp?
Well, I don't like what this Kemp has been doing. I really don't. I mean, this guy was brought out of nowhere by Donald J. Trump. Trump selected him instead of somebody else. He wouldn't have been the governor without Trump. That doesn't mean he should do anything wrong, but it also means he should avoid doing something right. And, I mean, the evidence of fraud in Georgia is probably greater than anywhere else. They actually have enough evidence not just to decertify, but to certify. I mean, you have just that one incident when they closed down the counting center and the Democratic crook stole 40,000 votes. We have the count. We can show you got to add 37,000 votes to Trump and 3,000 votes to Biden. Trump wins by 20,000. He knows that. He can play the Don TV thing in his office. He knows it. He's not a stupid man. He knows that they had something like 27,000 out-of-state people vote. That alone overturns the election and gives it to Trump. They had 6,000 dead people vote. That gets you halfway there. So the point that I'm making is he knows he had a crummy election and terrible machines. Now, this could be the problem that he's into the hole for $110 million for. He just brought on these new machines, and we have all sorts of evidence all over Georgia, including rural Georgia. They didn't work.
Listen.
We had one place in rural Georgia where we ran the results of the election 3 times. We got 3 different results. Now, he's the guy whose lobbyist brought the $100 million contract to Georgia.
Amen.
So I guess he's going to look awful stupid if he has to, say this election didn't work out. On the other hand, he has no future as a Republican, as a Democrat, as in anything, if he doesn't stand up here. He's at 11% approval right now.
L. Todd Wood and the team at Creative Destruction Media broke this story, I think, late last night. I want to give a hat tip to them. I want to go back to this. But, Mayor, look, I've been saying in a financial term, the whole system with the machine and Smartmatic and Dominion, hey, that may or may not. That's going to take a serious investigation, and that could take a while. I've always said that's a free option. If things come up in Arizona where Gosar is working on things, his team, if it comes up in Ware County, Georgia, or if it comes up in Antrim County, hey, I'm all for it. That's great. But there's enough in the other 2 verticals, and I think that's the power.
Basically, what I was saying is that they're going to, tomorrow, which you guys, or Wednesday, they were supposed to, hang on a second. I'm trying to see what it says. News spread like wildfire. Arizona lawmakers would make the attempt to declare Trump the winner, but Giuliani says lawmakers did not have the votes today to make that happen. Giuliani said he's hopeful lawmakers will be able to close the deal before Christmas. They're going to similarly pass a joint session to certify Trump, but then they didn't have the votes. They are going to come back tomorrow. So that's what I guess I was trying to show you, is that he's saying that it's going to happen, that they're going to start certifying Trump. Hold on 2 seconds. I got some other stuff I want to show you that's way more important than this, okay? Keep going. Remember that guy in Georgia who was all anti-Trump talking shit, this Gabriel Stirring guy, remember him? Oh, there's no election fraud in Georgia, right? Guess what? A woman tried to vote illegally using his home address. No shit. Karma is a motherfucker. Oh, yeah. There's no election fraud. But now he filed an official challenge stating that a woman has tried to vote illegally from his home address. He filed the official challenge. Look, the woman I bought my home from from over 2 years ago trying to vote from it is absentee. The guy said there was no ballot issues. There was no absentee ballot issues. I filed an official's challenge to stop her from casting an apparently illegal vote. This is totally real. This is his Twitter. I'm not making this up. This is not an Onion article. This is this is not satire. This is Gabriel Sterling's account. Okay? Karma. Karma. Karma, karma, karma. It says the Fulton County Election Board has acted and stated that my challenge to the qualifications of the woman attempting to vote from my house I purchased from her 2 years ago meets probable cause. That came out yesterday, day before yesterday. Sterling says voting records show Marin Fisher requested and returned an absentee ballot in the November general election, but was not living in the house on her voting records. It is Gabriel Sterling's house. Check this out. NBC.
Heads up, this is going to be sort of a two-part press conference today. At the beginning of this, I'm going to do my best to keep it together.
See how crazy he was? Oh, there is no election fraud. None. Trump must be stopped.
All gone too far.
Look at him.
All of it. Joe DeGenova today asked for Chris Krebs, a patriot who ran CISA, to be shot.
Oh, because he's a traitor.
In Gwinnett County today has death threats and a noose put out saying he should be hung for treason because he was transferring a report on batches from an EMS to a county computer so he could read it. It has to stop.
Karma! Karma, karma, karma. That's why I name my dog Karma, guys. It says tomorrow is the morning, this goes on. It says, I remind you again, regardless whoever you vote, your candidate is to stop Trump, you need to vote for Marco Rubio. Look at this. This guy's the never Trumper from way back when. He admitted he was hashtag never Trump. If it happened to an election official, how many other times has it happened? This is an election official. It shouldn't happen to election officials. It shouldn't happen to anybody. But this happened to the man who said it doesn't happen. Don't believe your eyes. Don't believe your eyes. It's all a big fat lie. Go back to sleep. Go back to sleep. No, I won't. I refuse. So, I'm going to go back. Yeah. Quickly, Trump, this is last night too. He tweeted that Gateway, this video showing poll workers stuffing ballots into tabulators numerous times on election night. Same ballots over and over again. That was just the Georgia video, which we've all seen. They ran it through right here. It says the same batch of ballots 3 times. And that's Ruby over there counting a stack of ballots for the first time. All right. Now I want to get to the important stuff. Guys, have you wondered why Chris Christie's been like totally stabbing Trump in the back? Let's talk about it. Because I figured out why. And no, he's not getting a tummy tuck. He's not trying to glow up and try to be better looking than Trump, because it's never going to. It says, Chris Christie backstabs Trump, tells him to give it up and go home. The election is over. This is yesterday, y'all. Just yesterday, y'all. This isn't a week ago. This is yesterday, y'all. This is trendingpolitics.com. Official, news guard site, blah, blah, blah. So former government Christie, who helps President Trump prepare for the first presidential debate against Joe Biden and got COVID-19 like a big fucking fat baby that he is now backstabbing the president. He could have worn a mask. He chose not to. He wanted to fit in with everybody else, so he didn't wear the fucking mask. That's his own problem. When you're fat like that, and you got diabetes, all these other, you better wear a fucking mask. This says breaking. Fauci admits he deliberately lied about the coronavirus. I'll have to check that out before we go. Well, speaking of Breitbart, Christie said told host Joel Pollak, Trump is hurting himself and hurting the country. Pollak said, speaking of presidential elections, my political editor is prompting me to ask you about Trump's decision to keep challenges going to the election. And it says, do you think the president is hurting himself? Should he continue to fight? And then Christie says, I think he's hurting himself. I think he's hurting the country. I'm a big supporter of the president. Bullshit. He goes on, says he says, Christie remarked, there's no evidence that I've seen that there was fraud that occurred in this election that would change the results. Bullshit. We're now nearly at Christmas. I know losing hurts. I've won and lost, and losing hurts, but we get into the game and we realize that's the risk you run. No, not when you lose because of cheating. When you lose fair and square, that's a different story. But when there's so much blatant shenanigans, no, you don't just accept that. So this is why Christie is, oh, wait a minute. Oh, what did I do? I put both of them together. Why isn't the other one there? Hold on a second. I put the wrong one there. Where Chris Christie's going to be running for president, y'all. Hold on a minute. It should be down here. Hold on a minute. Let me go down and find it. It should be right here on the side because it's another trending politics article. Give me 1 second, because that's exactly why he backstabbed Trump, because he is going to be running for. Oh, now it's gone. First of all, Birx is retiring. Depressed and isolated. She broke her own whatever. I'm looking for the one that I already had up there. That's crazy. Is gone. Wait, Chris Christie's running for. They're telling him you should be for. That's it. I must have took it down and put the wrong one up accidentally. I'm sorry about that. But that is the only reason Chris Christie is backstabbing the president right now. Is out of his whole. I'm thinking about running in 2024 myself. Because if it wasn't for that, he wouldn't be saying shit. He said, "Let it go. The election is over." Why? What? You really think you have a chance? Are you kidding me? You don't have a chance. All right, so there's that. Here we go. There's a little bit more. Come on. Uh-oh. 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 Come on, shut down. Sorry, guys. Getting to the end here, and it's not going. You'd think it'd be going faster at the end, not slower. Come on. I should have never even clicked on it. Give me a second, guys. I'm sorry. I can't even do anything. I'm stuck. I'm frozen. Give me two. There we go. Oh, you bitch. It gives me an arrow in certain things, but it won't. Hang on. I wonder. Give me 1 second. I'm so sorry. It's just freezing up. It's a storm outside. There we go. Come on. And my arrow just gets so big. That was crazy. Did you see that? I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. It's getting, either we're getting that storm or that YouTube's done with my bullshit. Give me a minute. There we go. Oh, I just shut that on accident. Give me a second. Come on. Why is that damn wheel always going like that? Come on. What the fuck? All right, here we go. Where did I just close? No. I just closed it. I literally, okay, recently closed tabs. Of course, the wheel's gonna spin. Here we go. Well, it won't let me go to it. You guys, I'm so sorry. This never happens like this. Usually YouTube just shuts me down and then I have to come back real quick, but they're making it, they're giving me the yellow, so like I have barely any fucking stream going. Hold on. There we go. Come on. I don't want that. I don't even know what that is. Oh, I must have clicked something up here on the top of the screen. I'm sorry. Of course I did. Come on! Thank you. Oh, I just want this one last article. It's so important. It's about Detroit suing Black Lives Matter for creating a civil conspiracy. It's very important, and I'm trying to get it to come up, and it's just giving me a hard time, so just please bear with me. I don't know what else. I'm trying to restart my shit, but it's just being a pain in the ass. Oh, wait a minute. Here it goes. Maybe if I stop sharing the screen for a second. Come on, baby. There we go. All right. Calm down. It's okay. I love you, Evelyn. Thank you. Like, I have a fit. Like, let's see what's going on. All right. Frozen. There we go. Okay, guys, ready? It seems to be back to normal once I redid it. I hope. Oh, you fucker. Share the screen. Give me a minute. Yeah, I definitely need to put my eyebrows back on tomorrow because I'm looking a little fucking cancerous myself tonight, aren't I? Come on. Is it going to do it or what? No, it's not. StreamYard is really being an asshole. I made almost the whole show though without it happening, so I guess I can't be mad. I'm glitching like a bitch now. See that? Oh my god. What is that? I want to know what's happening on your end. Is it flashing like it is on mine? Holy fuck. You see it flashing out of my face? That's what the screen's doing on my end. But I'm watching it on the phone and it's not doing it. It's not freezing on the phone. That's so weird. Oh my God. Listen, guys, I just uploaded a video. It's loading right now. I'm not kidding you. Hold on. I want to see if I can show it to you. While this all was happening, somebody took control of my camera and my mic. I couldn't come back on. It would not allow me to. I wonder if I can show this video. Hold on. Hold on. I got to turn the volume up. Hold on. I caught it. I caught it at the same time. It was happening. Guys, I was just doing this YouTube live stream. You're probably not even going to see this. I'm going to try to post it, but look, I refreshed. Hang on, it'll go to landscape in a minute. Okay. All I ever have to do is press myself. I usually, this is me. Hold on. So I click this. My cam and mic will not come. Somebody has control of my cam and my mic, and it will not allow it to come back on after everything we've just been talking about. Tell me that's not fucking crazy. So I go back to the beginning, right, to test it. Enter broadcast studio. Watch this. I know it's hard to see, but listen to my voice. Here it is. Ready? Click it. Nothing happens. Check this out. You guys, somebody has control of my camera and my mic. You can go watch the video. I just uploaded it to YouTube while this was all happening. That's not crazy. Guys, and as soon as I uploaded it, I got control back of my cam and my mic. Guys, I was just doing this YouTube live stream. Well, I want to tell you guys real quick before we get cut off. Hold on. I refreshed. There. I want to tell you real quick before we get cut off that I'm gonna be live on New Year's Eve. I've been asked to go live on New Year's Eve and do a big thing. We're gonna start at 420 BYOB, smoking with K420 on New Year's Eve. We're gonna try to make it adult, over 18, please, so I don't have no hits, no reports, flags, whatever you want to say. Yeah, I know, right, Evelyn? I'm so freaking nervous. Like, I need to, as soon as I'm done here, I'm going to run a scan over my computer and see what just happened. But before I do that, I need to show you guys what I have left, because it's important. Oh, not again. There, okay. Fastest animals on the planet. Of course, you guys all know how much I love Rageaholic. So I want to make sure we finish up tonight with some reality. Rageaholic, go check them out. This is the facts. The facts. In a 5-minute rant.
So you may have noticed after an initial COVID relief package, the government then spent the next 5 months jerking off its own, playing politics with your ability to feed your families, bandying back and forth about whether to lock down for 5 weeks or 5 years. Nancy Pelosi in particular reasoning that, hey, any crisis hurts Trump, so we may as well wait until they can steal it for the hood ornament in chief. And wouldn't you know it, now, mere weeks after the election, they suddenly remembered all that relief shit they lied about to get elected. Will wonders never queef? And hey, Nancy Lugosi, if Trump's $1,000 tax cut was, as you alleged at the time, crumbs, does that make your $600 Rona relief bill a fucking submolecule of a crumb? Never mind how it seems to spend more money teaching trans classes to Pakistanis than right here at home, where your Christmas gift to Americans with a lockdown-induced economic depression. 15 seconds on a Yahoo chat room from 1998. will readily confirm there ain't an aberrant sexual lifestyle in existence that wasn't invented by the fucking Pakis. Pakistan's so perverse they lapped the earth at the equator and somehow wound up back at consensual sex in the missionary position. They're actually out of fucking fetishes, and you're wasting time teaching them how to put a tampon in a tranny's pee hole? Good goddamn luck, Granny Rags. Here's an idea. Instead of giving me $600 or $900 or fuck $1,200 or any other amount I'll have to pay back in twofold taxes come next April, how about you just don't tax my $600 in the here and fucking now?
Amen.
This is where they found it. If the goal was to put money
Told you this in the beginning.
They wouldn't bother taking yours. The goal is permanent fucking statism and the government solving a shitload of problems that they fucking created to begin with while you foot the bill times 2 come a fucking year's time. Dems have been pulling this shitbag shell game since the advent of the New Deal, which noted right-wing conspiracy society UCLA already mathematically determined actually extended the Great Depression by damn near a decade and created a second depression in 1946, immediately after the end of World War II. That your history professors probably pretended didn't fucking exist. It was only after rolling back New Deal regulations and stimulus in the late 40s that the big boom in the 50s went full steam ahead. But the legacy of the New Deal remains in the form of removing the gold standard, which for you laymen just means your dollars are backed with promissory notes, not actual specie, and debt farms like the FDIC and Social fucking Security, none of which you'll get to cash in, by the way, though if you're an American, you're certainly being taxed like it. It's obvious as Biden's eye job that the plan here is to kickstart a New Deal. Hell, you don't even really have to speculate here, as one of the planks of the public platform of the Justice Democrats, yes, the same socialist Sims who held the casting couch for Ocasio Chavez, formally want to amend the Constitution to include a new Bill of Civil Rights. Not only a direct cribbing of a New Deal proposal that FDR fought and failed to include in the fucking 40s, but stacked with a laundry list of cringy millennial PP politics and socialist line items. Oh, I'm sorry, Democratic socialist line items. And before you all tell me that the Democratic prefix makes all the difference, I look forward to your honeymoon in the Democratic People's Republic of North Korea, where curtailing the Great Depression is concerned on its best possible day at its best possible moment. The New Deal did dick. On every other day, it extended it. Hell, even before FDR and the New Deal, it was government manipulation of monetary policy that stopped unemployment from stabilizing to begin with, while the market shock had certainly skyrocketed unemployment into the double digits. After just a few days of panic selling, it was already creeping back down into the single digits. And then government stepped in and stepped in it, suffocating regulation paired with protectionism and anti-competition laws, and Great Depression fucking commenced. And if all this talk of welfare, government relief projects, free Medicare, and fucking stimulus sounds at all familiar, it's because this is all from the New Deal playbook. Some proposed policies discarded by a Supreme Court that at least at that time occasionally possessed fucking principles, and others sadly still sapping us dry today. Don't expect to hear any of this shit from Biden. Hell, when he was young, history class was just called class. But if you think the same SCOTUS that told us Obamacare's a tax, that allowed that tax to be repealed without removing the law from the fucking books, is actually going to ride to our rescue this time, may I interest you in a timeshare on fucking Saturn? You can hang with the goddamn Galactic Coast Guard Trump just saddled us with. Sorry, Trump fans, it's a neat logo and all, but until they actually go to Neptune or some shit, they're the waste of Space Force as far as I'm concerned. But where worthless government programs are concerned, if the New Deal gave us a raw deal, 2 guesses what the new dog is going to give us. I'm Razor Fist. God fucking speed.
I fucking love him. He tells it how it is 100%, don't he? All right, guys. I love you. Have a great Christmas. I really hope you do. And I'll be back either the day after. Well, the day after Christmas is my wife's birthday, so I probably won't be back until after that. But I definitely will be having like a huge New Year's party thing going on. And listen, when I say I am ready to jump in a bus and ride to Washington on the 6th with anybody going from New York State, upstate New York, please let me know. I will live stream it. I will be there. I got plenty of camera equipment to do that. I swear I will live stream it as much as they will allow it to be live streamed. But I got to be there for that march. I've got to be. We all do. It's our duty. It's our only chance. So Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy Hanukkah and Kwanzaa, or whatever. Kwanzaa, kind of a little bit. Merry Christmas. What do they say? Kwanzaa. Merry Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah. There you go. All right. I love you all. I'll talk to you soon.